The International Rhino Foundation is deeply saddened to learn of the death of Sudan, the last northern white rhinoceros male, yesterday at Ol Pejeta Conservancy in Kenya. We extend our sympathies to our colleagues there who we know did everything they could to make sure that this animal was well cared for, especially during his last days. This loss brings to laser focus that systematic poaching across Africa, which originally led to the decline of this subspecies, is still rampant, and 25 years later shows no sign of abating. The International Rhino Foundation began working with the northern white rhino in Garamba National Park in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in 1995 and continued a program there for more than a decade. We watched that park turn into a conflict zone overrun by the Janjaweed militia and later the Lord's Resistance Army. These groups mercilessly poached rhinos and elephants to feed the illegal market. In 2005, we made the decision to close our program there because it simply was not safe for our staff to remain working in the park. In 2008, the world's best rhino trackers were sent into Garamba National Park to see if there were any signs of remaining rhinos. They were unable to find any sign that the rhinos still remained. At that time, there were only 8 captive animals left in the world. All of them were either geriatric or they had severe reproductive problems or both. Now, with Sudan's death, the only real option remaining for the northern white rhino, and it's still a long shot, is preserving the subspecies genetic material and utilizing it in vitro fertilization, advanced reproductive technologies that will be used to transform cells from living rhinos and cryopreserved material into embryos that can then be transplanted into southern white rhino females. Even so, these methods will not fully recreate the subspecies. However, we have great confidence in our colleagues at San Diego Zoo Global and the Leibniz Institute for Zoo and Wildlife Research in Berlin, who are working to make these advances possible. We, the conservation community, and the international governments involved should have attacked the northern white rhino issues much sooner and much more vigorously. The fact is, though, that national governments are responsible for conserving their biological heritage, and if no political will is present, there's only so much that others can do. The southern white rhino, the other subspecies, is actually a wonderful conservation success story, brought back from fewer than 200 animals to more than 20,000 today, through protective measures and conservation on the ground by committed governments, particularly the Republic of South Africa, and conservationists. While the loss of Sudan is incredibly tragic, we haven't lost the white rhino. The northern white rhino, again, is a subspecies, not a full species, and actually it's been functionally extinct for more than a decade. There's no easy answer to these kinds of problems. These issues are not unique to Africa, however. Javan and Sumatran rhinos in Indonesia both number fewer than 100 individuals each, and they could also be lost in our lifetime. The International Rhino Foundation firmly believes that with working with any species, we need to maximize our options and minimize our future regrets. We try to do this by working with like-minded individuals and partners to tackle the various problems that are facing rhino populations across the globe. You can help. Please help us. Become informed about rhino issues and tell your friends. Tell anyone who will listen. Support rhino conservation work through reputable organizations such as the International Rhino Foundation, and urge your own government to enforce international treaties to which it's a signatory, as well as national laws prohibiting wildlife trade. What we must do now together is ensure that the fate of the northern white rhino is never repeated again with any rhino or any other species on the planet. Please visit rhinos.org to learn more. Thanks for listening.